All right, thanks, Tom. We welcome you to Fiserv Forum in downtown Milwaukee as the Golden Eagles of Marquette play host to the Dolphins of Jacksonville University. And we welcome you courtside, everybody, along with Stephen Bardo, Jeff Levering with you. Marquette happy to be back here at home after a trip to Orlando. The time go 2-1, but they're going to be without the nation's leading scorer, Marcus Howard, tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Marquette will respond. They struggled last game against Maryland, and with Marcus Howard out, 26 points have to be made up. Let's see who can do that.
Well, Brendan Bailey had a really nice game last time out against Maryland, but today, as we look at our starting lineups presented by Jeep Grand Cherokee, it's a big opportunity for Greg Elliott to step in.
It really is. He struggled in his last game against Maryland, but previous to that in USC, he scored 11 points, and he's been pretty consistent this year. Great opportunity for him tonight.
Greg Elliott, who missed all of last year with a wrist injury, playing a lot more time this year. Look for Greg Elliott, Sakar Annam, who had 21 points in the loss against Maryland last time out as well. Ready to tip things off. Theo John against David Bell, the Ohio State transfer. A lot of size in the front line today from Jacksonville, especially with David Bell. 4 straight double-doubles. Ready to rock and roll here from Fiserv Forum. The Dolphins control the tip and they go on offense. Not a prolific scoring team, Jacksonville, but they've got 4 wins in their first 9 games, including a victory on Saturday against North Carolina A&T. Almani Santos kicks it over to the freshman. It got blocked by Greg Elliott. 11 on the shot clock. Here's the length of Elliott.
Yeah, you saw Santos dribble penetration. That's what Jacksonville wants to do. Collapse the defense via dribble penetration, kick out to open shooters.
Immediately a good defensive possession from Marquette. That's what they're looking for more consistently, especially with the big game coming up this weekend. As Theo John ripped away the entry pass.
Poor angle on that entry pass by Santos. He's got to dribble to the right one time, Jeff, and simple bounce pass would have made it.
So the big question today is we came on the air, no Marcus Howard, so the scoring comes from where tonight? McEwen dishes, Sakar Annam couldn't hit the layup.
Yeah, good job by Sakar Annam being aggressive. He's going to have to be one of the guys that's going to have to step up in Marcus Howard's absence.
Offensive rebound by Bell. His putback, no. And it's out of bounds going to Marquette. Head coach at Jacksonville, Tony Jasic. He is in his 6th season. And he really likes the direction that this program is going. He's shown improvement in each year, and they've got a new building that's going to start construction on next summer. Should be completed by the 2021 season, so this program is going in the right direction.
Definitely. And, you know, when you have those type of things in college sports, it's an arms race. You got to have the bells and whistles to attract the top-level players.
Got to have the gear, got to have the weight rooms, all that stuff. You get bodies in the building.
That's right.
Sides entry pass down into Bell, one-on-one. Bell with the left hand and a line drive out of bounds. Steve Wojciechowski in year number 6 at Marquette. He also has had his building blocks to get this team to where it is. A couple of opportunities in the NCAA tournament. Of course, a lot of bodies lost from last year's team, but this is still a very high-functioning group in Milwaukee.
There's no doubt about it. You can see Sakar Annam right there. Set play for him to come right into the lane. There's a screen in the middle by Theo John. He gets all the way to the rim. It's a talented ball club with Marquette, and I think, Jeff, it's safe to say that they've underachieved. You know, there's a lot of expectations on this particular group this season. They've kind of been a little uneven to start the season.
Well, the intensity on the defensive end has been really good, but this is a nice design play for Annam.
It really is. Comes off the almost a banana cut down the lane. You see Theo John post up, sets kind of an unofficial screen and allows Annam to get all the way to the rim.
So got 2 guys on that screen as Sakar Annam driving again, ran into Bell, looking for help, and it's out of bounds off of Jacksonville. Sakar Annam clapping his hands, asking for more help.
Yeah, they left him bare on that baseline. He was very fortunate to throw that off an opponent's leg, but we want to see Marquette be a little bit sharper to start this game.
welcome all of you who were just watching Xavier and Green Bay from Cincinnati. Along with Steve Lombardo, Jeff Levering with you. An early start, Marquette out to a 2-0 lead. And if you didn't hear the news, Marcus Howard out of this ball game to start and will not play tonight in the concussion protocol as he took an elbow during practice yesterday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Marquette responds. There's a lot of offensive opportunity when the nation's leading scorer is out of the game.
Doing a nice job on the defensive end. Already the third turnover forced by Marquette. Kobe McEwen for 3, and some cold shooting, but an offensive rebound by Theo John. That's a man's rebound, and Greg Elliott just couldn't hit the bunny.
Yeah, that was a great description. That was a man-sized rebound. David Bell, understanding that the strength of Theo John is a lot more than what he's faced so far this season.
Deep 3, no, another board by Theo John. Up ahead, Sakar Annam in front of everybody. Annam's got all 4.
It's a great outlet pass behind the defense.
See the numbers, cold shooting for both teams to start this ball game, but you like the defensive effort from Marquette early.
Yeah, you know, we've seen this early in the season with a number of teams, Jeff. Offensively, teams are struggling, but as long as you can stick in and play defense and be aggressive on this end, it usually carries over to the offensive end.
Elliott using those long arms, rip away another steal. Brendan Bailey, who had 27 against Maryland in the last game for Marquette. Theo John, old school skyhook, couldn't go.
I like the fact that Brendan got him the rock in the post. Theo John, you got to give the big some touches. He was scoreless against Maryland in their last game. You want him to have a lot of confidence.
Tried to get the block instead. Points finally for Jacksonville. And McEwen, who's looking for some consistency on the offensive end, too. First couple of games, he was really sharp, but the last few, not so much for McEwen.
Yeah, he's 5 of 24 from the field in his last 3 games.
Annam filling it up. He's got all 7 for the Golden Eagles.
Sakar Annam is so interesting, you know, to watch his maturation, Jeff, because we get an opportunity to see him grow over the years, and his offensive maturation has been fun to watch.
He's always been a great defensive player. He's been that lockdown guy one-on-one. Bailey, his first shot, an air ball. Theo John with an offensive opportunity a second time. McEwen driving, fouled, and he will go to the line. Free throws when we come back, but Sakar Annam off to a good start.
Great job getting behind the defense, and an even better Wes Unseld-like outlet pass at time. And Sakar Annam moves a little bit away from the bucket with the triple.
In downtown Milwaukee, Usinger's finest sausage in the background there. 3-point lead for the Marquette Golden Eagles here at home at Fiserv Forum. And now time for our Jeep stat comparison for the evening. Again, no Marcus Howard tonight, but boy, he has been good. And what he did in Orlando for the first 2 games of that 3 games was unbelievable, Stephen.
Yeah, because Davidson is a quality opponent. USC out of the Pac-12, always competitive. That Maryland team, one of the top 5 or 10 in the country. They did a great job defending Marcus Howard. His teammates weren't able to overcome, you know, his lack of offensive production. But this is the time where Marquette's got to start developing some consistency, Jeff.
And they've got a big one coming up this weekend as well at Kansas State, who he scored 45 against in this building. We were here for it last year, one of his 2 45-point games, plus a 53-point game against Creighton. So, you know, without a Marcus Howard in the lineup, we've talked about it before, where does the offense come from? And we're seeing Sakar Annam front and center kind of take his leadership role as one of the only seniors of this team.
Yeah, you want your seniors to step up and have enough confidence. Go ahead and force the issue a little bit. Helps your teammates relax. Guys, you know, still, it feels foreign with Marcus Howard on the bench instead of being on the floor.
This may have been a preview as Marcus Howard dipped his toe in the draft last year. 3-pointer off the heel. Of course, the Hauser brothers have moved on to other universities as well. But there will be a time where there is no Marcus Howard. It's after this year. As Ed Morrow missed, took an extra bounce, and there's Jamal Cain to clean it up.
Yeah, Jamal Cain, we got to check and see if it's his birthday. That bounce was fortuitous in his favor.
Jamal Cain, who had an up-and-down season last year, didn't get a lot of time on the floor, taking advantage of his time on the floor this year. Around the corner and out of bounds, another turnover for Jacksonville. It's their 5th.
Looks like Mo Arnold trying to do a little bit too much right there. You saw Deontay Wood had the beat on the rebound, but every now and then that ball bounces one extra time, and it favored Jamal Cain.
Cain to inbound. Symir Torrance, the only freshman on this roster for Marquette. He's on the floor as Annam drives again, fouled, and a chance for a three-point play.
I mean, Sakar Annam, that's just bully basketball right there. He knew he wanted to get to the bucket, put his head down. McCallum, excuse me, tries to stop it, but that's that senior understanding leverage and strength at the rim.
Finishing a lot more consistently after he had redshirted his sophomore season. Got a lot of plays as a freshman. Redshirted his sophomore year, but these last 3 years for Annam playing consistently, more time in the weight room. He's a different guy.
He is. I like Marquette using that three-quarter court pressure, trying to speed the game up a little bit.
Torrance, the outlet. McEwen short on his three. Ed Morrow battles for a second opportunity, but throws it out of bounds.
You know, it's amazing, Jeff, and you know, you'll hear me say this a lot. In college basketball, I've seen slow starts. I've seen guys go through slumps. And the thing that I'm seeing around the country is that even if they're in slumps like Kobe McEwen is experiencing right now, they're still shooting threes. Get to the rim. Get something easy. So psychologically, you see the ball go through the bucket. Now you can extend yourself. But teams and players will continue to shoot the three, and they're ice cold.
Elliott with another steal, another turnover, number 6 for Jacksonville. Elliott on the other end, transition three. Not a bad shot, though.
No, not a bad shot. He's wide open and stepped into it beautifully, just didn't get it to drop.
The length of this Marquette team that's on the defensive floor right now. Three short. Morrow battling, still tapped out. There's Cain.
I thought Ed Morrow was going to run to the block. There he is.
There's Ed Morrow. Great feed from Annam.
See, Annam's playing about as much confidence as I've seen him play with right now. And this is a blessing in disguise as Marquette's on a 9-0 run. Where, oh, man.
And an over and back and some pressure by Symir Torrance. Another unforced error for the Dolphins.
That defensive prowess. But you see there, Sakar Annam has been so aggressive, Jeff, that now all the Dolphins have to pay attention to him when he gets into the lane. Look at, there's 3 defenders that come to him. Wide open look for Morrow. Nice job by Sakar.
Yeah, just slipping right into the middle of the defense. 6-0 in the turnover department as well. Jacksonville with 6, Marquette with none. Much better job of taking care of the basketball. Cain tried to slip one into Morrow again. Here come the Dolphins on the break. And a foul on the drive. Free throws for DeAnthony McCallum.
Well, a few times Jacksonville's been able to get down before the defense is set. You talked about the 6 turnovers. When you come on the road, that's just something that you can't bury yourself with multiple turnovers early in the game. You just don't give yourself a chance.
And that's when Marquette really ran into problems against Maryland. 16 turnovers, and they were outscored 28-12. Can't do that with a number 3 team in the country.
No, you can't. And Maryland is so long and talented. I mean, they're one of the deeper teams in college basketball. Got a premier point guard in Anthony Cowan. Stick Smith is one of the premier forwards in the country. You know, there's no shame in Marquette losing that game. I'm sure Steve Wojciechowski would have liked to see them play a little bit better.
Marcus Howard, after his 51-point game, only came away with 6 and was 1 out of 12 from the floor. Symir Torrance down the hands of Elliott. Now Morrow faces up. And Morrow trying to muscle his way in, and we'll have a held ball, and it will stay with Marquette. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Ed Morrow trying to crab dribble into the paint to get that shot off, but that was good help defense. That time, that Bryce Workman kind of comes in at the end.
Cain on the inbounds. He couldn't finish it. How many times have we seen this year? For whatever reason, I feel like the inbound plays underneath their own basket have been much more prevalent. The shot no and some free throws for Bryce Workman. We'll dive into that in a couple of moments. Marquette up by 11. Offensive lineman in that one for both teams.
I'll tell you what, that Ohio State team, I mean, Wisconsin has done a great job of finishing strong and finding their way into the championship game. But that Ohio State team, that's a different animal.
It really is.
I mean, man, I don't see many weaknesses on that team.
It's like Jim Harbaugh's comment at the end of the game with Michigan and Ohio State said, we just played a better game than we did. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
That's correct. They did. Coleman McEwen hits the first.
That's about as basic as a coach can give it, right?
Better game plan. We don't need to dive into that. We got a good one going here tonight.
Yes, we do.
Coleman McEwen with a couple of free throws. Sakar Annam having a nice day. Annam's got a game-high 10. And some more pressure. And Samir Torrance picks up a ticky-tack foul. Stephen Bardo, Jeff Levering with you from Fiserv Forum in downtown Milwaukee. Beautiful gem, home of the Marquette Golden Eagles and the Milwaukee Bucks, who are playing pretty good basketball in the NBA.
I tell you what, without Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo has got to be the leading candidate for MVP again.
Chance for a three-point play, and Kobe McEwen just took a shot to the face. And McEwen is down.
That's the way he responded, Jeff, that's a nose. He got elbowed in the nose or possibly the eye. But anytime a guy kind of almost loses his balance like that, caught a little bit of a shot. Oh, yeah, right there. Oh, he got a double whammy. He got hit on the way up by Mo Arnold with it was inadvertent, and then Mo Arnold came down and smacked him in the eye. So Arnold got his money's worth on that one.
Kobe McEwen, who just hit a couple of free throws, and you know better than anybody that you can start to get your stroke a little better going to the free throw line. There you got the initial shot, and then the right hand came right on down and got McEwen in the face, and he is going to head to the sidelines to get some medical attention. And Greg Elliott, who was on the floor just before the media timeout, will check right back in, and Kobe McEwen hopefully can work out what ails him.
Yeah, that's tough. When you're trying to play defense and you end up getting a foul, but you get hit twice. I mean, Mo Arnold, and it was all inadvertent.
Jace Johnson with the rebound after the bank attempt on the free throw.
I'll tell you what, I know banking hours have extended. Man, that was pretty hard.
Elliott drains the three.
This young man's playing with a lot of confidence. He understands that the minutes he's going to get each game. Been able to overcome some nagging injuries, and he has really become an integral part, especially off the bench. Well, starting tonight in lieu of Marcus Howard's absence.
Now on the move, here comes Marquette. Brendan Bailey, open look. 2 for his last 2.
Nice pick and pop that time by Elliott and Bailey. Bailey likes that left wing 3.
Marcus Howard on the bench tonight. He loves it for his teammates. Marquette up big. Threes weren't falling early for Marquette, but they have in the last couple of possessions. Just good looks for Marquette.
It's good looks, good ball possession in terms of sharing the rock, the floor spacing. That was a really nice screen and roll there to get Bailey in his sweet spot on the left wing. Feeling good about his game.
Elliott and Bailey with the last threes. Building up this 17-point lead and more pressure in the backcourt. That takes a toll in the second half on the Jacksonville Dolphins.
I agree. And then now you have less time to get into your offense. Right now they've got 10 seconds left in the possession.
Bell, the free
Bell knows.
23. Another great defensive possession from Marquette. Again, we were telling you all about the threes that Marquette's hitting. That guy's hit a couple in his career.
He sure has. It's good to see him being that supportive of his teammates, because his teammates support him consistently.
Going to get an offensive foul on the rebound from Jace Johnson. Marquette without the nation's leading scorer, as mentioned, Marcus Howard in the concussion protocol. And you know he's itching to get himself on the floor. It's hard for those guys to not be on the floor and not suited up. He's got the ankle socks and the big league shoes going tonight, but it's not easy for him not being out there with his teammates.
I totally agree. You know, he probably wanted to really get back as quickly as he can to get that sour taste out of his mouth from the performance against Maryland, where he really struggled against the length and the depth of that backcourt for the Maryland Terrapins.
Jacksonville in the bonus, so 1-1 for David Bell. Transfer out of Ohio State. Really good last year in the A-Sun. Had double-doubles in 4 straight games this year. Put together nicely. He's just going to be a nightmare in that conference.
I agree. And you know what? Sometimes guys get to a level, Jeff, and they're not as effective on that level. So they have to go to a different level, and then they can find themselves and be productive. And that's exactly what Bell has been able to do.
Native of Cleveland. Elliott, nice pass. Kane bringing the thunder.
Well, Kane can do that along that baseline, can he? We've seen him get alley-oops, seen him go to the hole like that with vengeance. Tremendous athlete along the baseline.
Elliott and Kane, like a fine wine, get better with age.
I'm telling you, I'm an old school hip-hop head, and that's Big Daddy Kane along the baseline right there. Ain't no half-stepping. Jamal Kane getting busy along the baseline. Ooh, that's bitter beer face material right there.
That is going to be on highlight videos. There will be posters in kids' rooms. That was nice.
That was nice. You know, those two, Greg Elliott, Jamal Kane, very close, both from the Detroit area, so they've got a nice relationship with one another, and it carries over onto the court.
The same recruiting class. They've been here in Milwaukee together the whole way. Nice rapport. There's Elliott. Couldn't go. Kane tried to keep it alive. Instead, it's off of Morrow and going to the Dolphins.
Great hustle by Ed Morrow, though. And you know what I especially like about this group that's on the floor? They're not paying attention to the score. Their level of effort has not waned one bit.
You know, Morrow, whenever he's on the floor, there will be zero lack of hustle. He is given 1,000% every chance. And now a 3 in and out. Dolphins keep it alive, and the putback up and good for Deontay Wood.
It's a nice putback by Wood, transfer from Alabama. Starting to get into, trying to get his game back after sitting out.
Runner-up to Mr. Basketball in Alabama as a senior in high school. I mentioned he's transferred from Alabama. McEwen back on the floor. That's a really good sign for him after getting popped in the face and the eye. McEwen spinning around and lost it. Trying to do a little bit too much.
Boy, this game is all about confidence, Jeff. And when you lose it momentarily or you lose it for a few games, it's evident.
Bell on the right. Tough shot for David Bell. Elliott, 1-on-3. Smartly pulls it back out. McEwen passes it off to Annam.
I like the Annam against Santos. They're not taking advantage of that mismatch right there.
Giving up about 6 inches. McEwen driving right into 4 Dolphin defenders. And he got hit in the face again. And now on the drive, Ed Morrow up to contest. McEwen, 3. If that would have gone, that's a Rocky moment. Hit the one in the middle, right?
That's right. I tell you what, he did a little possum move too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm hurt. I'm okay. See right here on the split where he tries to come into the lane, and He goes down. I think that's a little bit more frustration than actually getting hit that time. But, boy, it's amazing when the ball's coming back your way how healthy you become real quick.
4 minutes to play. McEwen underneath. Morrow back out to Elliott. Kane. Great feed, but into the hands now of Morrow. One to shoot. Got to go. McEwen. And it hit the rim. They're calling for a shot clock violation. But the officials are coming in, and Wally Ratucki is going to come in and overrule Clarence Armstrong. That clearly hit the rim.
Yes, it did. And we had the best angle. Glance right on the left, our left, your right at home. Right there. Anytime the ball's rotation changes, it's hitting something.
We'll take a quick timeout. Official will take a look at this. You take a look at this. NBA Jam style. Boom shakalaka. Coming up on the Jeep Grand Cherokee Halftime Report. It's the Big East Mount Rushmore with Rob Stone, Bill Raftery, Jim Jackson, and Steve Lavin. Plus, you got stats and highlights. It's all coming up next on the Jeep Grand Cherokee Halftime Report. Dignitaries in the house. The Marquette alumnus. It's Doc Rivers and Steve Novak. Doc Rivers here, 81 through 83, and man, he could really play.
Oh, he was an explosive guard, and that's a ways ago. it was a little while ago, so people probably don't remember, but he was a fantastic guard out of the Chicago area, Proviso East High School, and came to Marquette and really left his mark on this program.
Great teammate of yours as well.
Yeah, good friend of mine as well, man. Doc is, I love the guy. And I didn't know he was going to be a better coach than he was a player. He had a really good NBA career as well, but he is one of, in my opinion, one of the top 3 or 4 coaches in the NBA.
Well, Doc Rivers is mixing it up with Steve Novak and really enjoying themselves. The Clippers in town to play the Bucks. Bucks are in Detroit tonight, but the Clippers will be here. That'll be a fun game to watch, the Clippers and Bucks.
That could be a preview of a possible NBA Finals. The way the Bucks are playing and the way the Clippers are playing, LA Lakers will have something to say about that. But
I know that the Bucks fans haven't forgot what Kawhi Leonard did then in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
I think the NBA remembers what Kawhi Leonard did to them last year.
Right?
Yeah, he's something else.
So after our timeout, they gave Marquette the possession back. It did hit the rim after further review, so fresh 20. Now McEwen for 3. McEwen finally.
Well, I bet that's a huge relief for Kobe McEwen. I have to give him some credit because, as a scorer, you got to have amnesia. And I talked about he was 5 of 24 from the field his last 3 games and really struggled to start tonight.
ABC in double. Santos couldn't get the roll off the front of the rim. And maybe for McEwen, that's all he needs to get himself going. Thought about it from the top of the key, too. Instead, feeds Morrow underneath. And we're getting a timeout from Jacksonville. We'll step aside. 20-point lead for the Golden Eagles at home. 37-17 Marquette out in front of Jacksonville, and I know you were a guard and you thrived on defense and distributing, so it's nice to give some love to the big guys down low.
You got to give them the rock and let them eat. Look at him. Looks like the Mills brothers on the footwork down there. Went old school on you right there.
Nice.
3 defenders, and Ed Morrow. The Big Ten knows about him in his first 2 years at Nebraska. The Big East really felt him last season. They know how strong that young man is, point-blank range.
The guy who grew up in Chicago, Simeon High School, played with Jabari Parker. Learn a lot playing with guys like that. And then when your dad is a former NCAA champion at Nebraska as a football player, 3-ball in and out from Mo Arnold. Morrow, shocker, he's around the basketball after it hits the rim.
He's one of the guys that coaches love because he knows his game. He's not going to get outside of that.
Kane with a nice feed from McEwen. Marquette's doing it all night.
They are. They're taking care of the basketball. They had a stretch there where they had 3 turnovers and allowed Jacksonville a little bit back in the game, but they've tightened it up here recently.
Jumper, not a good shot from Bryce Workman. McEwen able to keep possession. Kane drives, hangs, and Morrow pushed off. Going the other way for Jacksonville, but again, just sharing the basketball beautifully for Marquette.
Yeah, Kobe McEwen keeping his head up, and Kane is a baseline assassin tonight. He has really done some work along the baseline in Jacksonville. I guess maybe not reading the scouting report on this young man. That's where he is most effective, is along the baseline.
Yeah, 10 assists on 14 makes so far for Marquette. And this is not a knock on Marcus Howard. He scores his points, right? So you put up 51 points, you put up 41 points. You're not necessarily going to get a lot of assists on that because he creates a ton of scoring by himself.
Yes, he does.
But tonight you're seeing the basketball move with a lot more fluidity.
I agree. And, you know, it's, again, adversity is how you take it. And Marquette, a little bit of adversity tonight with Marcus Howard being out. Physically, they look to be overmatching Jacksonville so far in this game, but guys are stepping up and getting critical minutes. We saw Symir Torrance come in. He has some good minutes where normally we wouldn't see him play. So Marquette taking advantage of this.
Another guy, Jamal Kane. Again, he's playing a lot more tonight. He's been playing a lot more this season than he did last year. Personnel dictates that, but guys have an opportunity to step up. Kane knocks down another jumper from the elbow.
I think you heard you talking about him right there. Good job of getting to the crease of the 2-3 zone there. And, you know, he can elevate with the best on that jumper.
You saw his jam basically from the seats when he took off. He's got that ability. Santos with McEwen all over him. Cross-court pass and a corner 3 is knocked down. That's Derek Flowers, the junior from Frisco, Texas.
Hey, what, Bryce Workman showing some good court vision that time.
Adam answers on the other end.
Yeah, Sakar Adam has just really been the most consistent player for Marquette. Started out aggressive. His teammates kind of picked up on his cue, and he remains aggressive.
Yeah, 10 points in the first 6 minutes. Did Sakar Adam. That's his first point since. We'll have a foul underneath. Going back and forth with some good ball movement first from Jacksonville. This is underneath and Kane from the elbow.
Kane doing a good job of getting into that crease, and then McEwen giving up the ball without charging. He stopped and got it over to Sakar Adam. Anytime you can get those clean looks on threes, somebody's doing a good job of getting you the basketball.
Those chop steps are kind of tough to teach.
I agree. And, you know, players are so smart now defensively in college basketball. They'll set up to take charges in those situations. So Kobe McEwen doing a good job of avoiding the charge. Tell you what, we got a lot of action tonight. Georgetown in a good one, up 7 over Oklahoma State. And Texas Tech and DePaul look like they're locked into a good one at halftime.
That's a great game.
Yes, it is.
Down in Chicago.
Huge for the DePaul program.
It is.
You know, still not getting the love I think they deserve nationally. They will if they can win tonight.
A strong move by Theo John underneath. Texas Tech is coming off of an 0-2 in Las Vegas. Lost Jamias Ramsey for all but 10 minutes of that game with a hamstring injury. I believe he's back playing for Texas Tech, but 0-2 in Vegas. Chris Beard not happy about it after their first big test. Time winding down. Jacksonville blocked away by Jamal Kane, and that is an exclamation point at the end of this first half.
Tell you what, everything has gone right for Marquette on both ends of the floor. Kane has some high wire acts. And at the end of the first half, he doesn't want Jacksonville to have any kind of momentum. So he changes sports momentarily and goes up for the volleyball spike.
Could have blocked that with his elbow.
Yeah, could have caught it too.
Good first half for the Marquette Golden Eagles. They're up 46-23 over the Jacksonville Dolphins. We'll have a lot more from Fiserv Forum when we come back right after this. Ready to go in the second half from Milwaukee. Marquette doubling up Jacksonville 46-23. And the defensive pressure very good from Marquette, holding Jacksonville just to 21% from the floor. Only made a couple of threes as well. And Kobe McEwen started to feel a little bit in the latter part of that first half. And that's a really good sign for Kobe.
Yeah, he got that 3-point shot to drop. And yet he's only 1 of 6, but for a scorer like that, Jeff, he just needs to see one go down. Hopefully it can carry over here to the second half.
A couple of free throws, then he makes the 3, and hopefully some good things moving forward for Kobe McEwen from the floor. Again, no Marcus Howard tonight in concussion protocol for Marquette, as they immediately try to feed Bell down low. It's ripped away by Brendan Bailey, trying to keep it alive.
David Bell just physically cannot match up with Theo John. He's getting manhandled in the post area. That time Bell had a set play for him, and John just basically moved him out, hit him, and then hit Wally Uteki as well, who went down but seems to be okay.
Now Wally smiling on the far side of the floor right now. Annam thought he got fouled.
That's the influence of the NBA on the college game. That's a shot that I see a lot of NBA guys are going to right now. Sakar Annam didn't quite look as smooth as Trae Young doing the same thing.
But spinning around, and Bailey.
Nice job there. See, Destin Barnes has been aggressive. He just hadn't had a lot of success, but he's been looking for his 3. Been close against some offensive putbacks, but that time looked good.
Some long arms to try and get over as well. Annam, that time got tripped. David Bell.
See right there. Kind of got that chicken wing out there to create some space, did Destin Barnes. Nice job there. Jacksonville, there was a point in the first half where Marquette had about 3 turnovers in 4 possessions, and Jacksonville started to get some confidence. See if they can put some things together on this turnover by Marquette.
You see some unforced errors, and there were plays kind of like that where it didn't need to happen, but it happened for Marquette.
Right, and here's the thing, you never want to see turnovers, but that's better than a live ball turnover that leads to an easy bucket on the other end. So Marquette hasn't given up many of those this evening.
Destin Barnes going to work on Bailey again. Barnes. And it's pulled in by McEwen. And then a foul on Kobe McEwen. And Kobe's letting his frustration out right now.
Yeah, he's a little bit upset with his teammates, I think, and not securing the basketball that time. See there, Barnes goes to the hole. And you see they're fighting for it. Oh, nice dig that time by Kevin Norman to knock the ball loose. So maybe he wasn't mad at his teammates. Maybe he was upset with, he thought they missed the call there.
Kobe fuming as he goes to the far side of the bench. Sides running into Elliott and Bailey. Now Santos with a 3. And Elliott pulls in the rebound.
Brendan Bailey did an excellent job defensively that time. Greg Elliott was beat off the bounce. And it looked as though Trey Sides was going to have a easy opportunity, but Brendan Bailey stepped in and cut him off.
Steve Wojciechowski's got a big league stare going on right now with Jeff Clark, one of the officials. Didn't think that was a foul on Theo John, and for Theo picking up his 2nd.
You know what, though? That's okay. You want Theo John to remain aggressive and physical. If he's going to pick up an offensive foul, trying to create space on the offensive end, Woj can live with that.
This feels like a pretty important year for Theo John. A junior season, he's been around a long time, got a lot more playing time a season ago. He's not necessarily a threat on the offensive side, but defensively, blocking shots, has just picked up a foul there, his 2nd in as many possessions. Count the basket for Bell, and they'll actually get Symir Torrance on the foul, but For Theo John, he's a great rim protector, a great rebounder. But it's a big season for him, it feels like. Take that next step.
I agree. And for Marquette to take the next step, they need production in the post area. Jace Johnson is a guy that they're going to look to provide some of that, as well as Ed Morrow. But Theo John is the man. And if he can get 8 to 10 points a game for Marquette, I believe that can put them in the upper echelon of the Big East Conference.
Conference that feels like it's wide open, too.
I mean, think about this, Jeff. And I'm glad I'm not one of the preseason prognosticators. Butler was picked 8th and DePaul was picked 10th. And they're the only 2 teams that are undefeated left in the Big East.
That's right.
So that'll tell you something about, first of all, preseason predictions, and secondly, how deep this conference is going to be.
Speaking of Theo John, the offensive end, put together a nice sequence there to score the bucket. 20-point lead by Marquette. Ran right into Theo John, but a foul first. But again, as Theo John just picked up his 3rd, here is that offense by Theo John.
Nice job. Ooh, a little hook action right there. Sky hook action. Watch Brendan Bailey cut off sides right there and then recover to his man. That's an excellent defense of help and rotation by Brendan Bailey.
Theo John with 4 points, 3 fouls. Ed Morrow about ready to check in for him. First free throw rattles in for Kevin Norman.
I still think Theo John gets punished because he's so big and strong. A lot of times he's just holding his ground. Guys fly off of him and he picks up the foul. I think that's what Woj is talking over there to Jeff Clark about, that very situation. You know, it would be really cool to mic up the coaches when they're talking to refs. That would be some of the best video ever. You know, we'd have to have a 7-second kill switch, but
sure,
you know, and a bleep button. But oh, that would be fantastic to hear some of those conversations. Jeff Clark left the last exchange with Coach Woj, like smiling and laughing. Something Woj said to him had him chuckling. So these guys are master communicators, our coaches.
Always looking for an advantage as well.
That's right.
Ask about one play here. Maybe it leads to a call on the other end. It's a foul by Jacksonville. Sakari Adams going to go to the line.
And Woj is talking to Wally Rutecki now, so he's going to get a nice little exchange with Coach Woj. As looks like Adams got a cut on his elbow.
Medical attention to that elbow. You see it right there. Waiting for him to see whether or not he can shoot the free throws and clean up on the bench.
I mean, the stuff they have today, I'm hating a little bit, but the stuff they have today to help these guys when they get cuts and bruises. I mean, man, we used to like wait till you get to halftime and go wash it, you know, put some soap and water on and get back out on the court, you know? These guys got antiviral stuff that they can wipe right on the court. I mean, good for the players, but I'm hating.
That's all right.
I'm just an old head, Jeff.
Medical advancements. I did a game at Iowa earlier this year where Connor McCaffrey got cut. It was against DePaul. He got cut on his forehead like a Harry Potter type of cut. He's still got a pretty good scar, but he stayed in the game.
Yeah.
All they did was cauterize the wound and, you know, shot him up, and then boom, there you go.
Look at you.
Did a game in Las Vegas where Luka Garza, as a matter of fact, of Iowa, he's as tough as it gets. He got hit in the nose in the first half and played with gauze up there for the rest of the first half. And in the second half, got hit in the lip, took 4 stitches, and they said, do you want any Novocaine? As this is in the middle, he missed 2 minutes, 2 total minutes of game action. Goes back into the locker room. They said, if we give you Novocaine, you won't feel it, but you're going to miss more time. He said, just do it.
Tell you what,
stitched him up.
Luka Garza is a warrior. That young man plays as hard as any player, regardless of position in college basketball, each and every night. Very talented and tough.
He had 20-plus points last night.
Yes, yes.
That's what's great about the early season schedule when you get the Gavitt games, putting the Big Ten and the Big East Conference together. And Marquette always plays Wisconsin, in-state rival.
Yep. No, I agree with you, Jeff. I think the Big East just doesn't get enough credit to being a premier league.
And on the breakaway. No, they don't. They still kind of fall back. A lot of people still think that they're a mid-major conference, but they're not.
No.
It's big time.
I tell you what, the thing that it always surprises me when Big East teams play outside of their conference and they play opponents. The opponents cannot believe how physical the Big East teams are.
Like old school.
That's right.
Big East of old. Here's a breakaway for Sakar Annam.
Sakar Annam, I thought he was going to do the fingertip layup, but he went in for the dunk, and his teammates love it.
Look at Santa's Village inside the Deer District, Fiserv Forum. Sakar Annam having a great night and backing up his great performance over the weekend against Maryland.
Yeah, did a good job of taking advantage of Jacksonville being slow on defensive transition. That time, pick and pop action. And then this is just a weight room, a senior. Stronger than his opponent, keeping his eyes on the rim. Sakar Annam, for his whole career here at Marquette, I wanted to call him Scar, like in The Lion King.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy, so I can't call him Scar. I got to go with Sakar. But Sakar Annam, one of the more consistent players for Marquette this season.
Scar did sing one of the more underrated songs in The Lion King.
So you can tell you got young kids, man. See, I got older kids. I'm forgetting the songs and everything.
Just be prepared, Steven.
Okay. All right. I got to look up my Lion King stuff. One of the best movies ever. And I will say that to anyone.
That sounds like a conversation for another time.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Kobe McEwen driving. Ran into a couple of Dolphins, and McEwen trying to wrestle it away. Picks up a personal foul. 20-point lead for Marquette. Kobe McEwen's been running a little hot here today, and for Steve Wojciechowski, you're worried about depth a bit as well, because Kobe McEwen just picked up his fourth. Symir Torrance has 4 personal fouls, so you're going to have to really dig your teeth in with your depth if you're Steve Wojciechowski.
Yeah, Greg Elliott coming into the game, he's really going to have to be big here down the stretch. Luckily, they've got a little bit of a cushion. But Kobe McEwen, at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half, he's been very emotional. It seems like just frustration.
And that's when we thought he was going to be on the other side after he knocked down a couple of free throws and hit a 3 to kind of stop that drought. But it went the other way for McEwen. And here's Elliott. And he kept it alive. There was Ed Morrow who got right in the mix, and Elliott fouled on his way up.
Greg Elliott can do that with his size at the guard position. Much taller than Santos. Santos giving up at least 5 or 6 inches. Watch Elliott get back off his feet quickly and draws a foul there.
I know we talked about Ed Morrow being right in the mix. It feels like every shot that hits off the rim, he's going to have some opportunity to try and pull down a rebound.
Yeah, Ed Morrow is an interior player that gets his center of gravity lower than all of his opponents. He's usually able to root his opponents out of there.
So Elliott trying to convert 1 out of 2 from the foul line. Would have been a lane violation, but he made it.
Yeah. I just saw that bug there with the Bears and the Cowboys coming up on Thursday night. Let's talk about 2 underperforming teams.
Oh, yeah.
Not very pleased with Chicago Bears.
Last time I worked with you was before I went to Vegas. I didn't lay your bet for you that you asked me to about the Bears.
Smart man, because they ended up winning that game. Smart man.
Morrow underneath, and he hooked. So it will be an offensive foul on Ed Morrow. Trying to create some space on the baseline, and for Morrow, that is his 3rd. Theo John has 3.
I'll tell you what, Steve Wojciechowski is a little bit frustrated on the sideline. I've been watching him the last few possessions here. You know, he's really not paying attention to the score. He's not liking what is going on with his team.
17 fouls by Marquette. And they don't have a lot of help on the bench either. Again, Marcus Howard is out. Concussion protocol. Kevin Norman Couldn't hit the layup. Offensive rebound. Jace Johnson there to block it away. And now blocked it twice. And we're going to get a held ball. Good sequence for Jace Johnson.
It really was. And Marquette was fortunate because the Dolphins were all over that offensive possession that time. 3 cracks at it.
Here it is again. There's the first block.
Workman gets denied.
That's 2.
I'll tell you what, Kevin Norman stuck with it, but nice job by Marquette getting the possession back.
Elliott a bit out of control, looking for help. Finds Annam. Butterfly Band-Aid on his right elbow now after taking the cut. Annam top of the key. Jumper in and out. Johnson trying to keep it alive. He's getting pushed all over the place. And finally a foul called by Derek Flowers. Jace Johnson just trying to keep that thing alive up and over Flowers.
Yeah, it was interesting. Flowers just said, you know what? I'm just going to push this guy in the chest and see if I can get him out of rebounding position. I don't blame you, young fella. You battling the big man. You got to do whatever you can.
Bailey lost it. 3-on-1. Annam was there to try and help out, but Deontay Wood finished the layup.
So nice finish there. Wood looked like he was trying to get some contact, but was able to keep his concentration on the reverse.
It feels a little odd that Marquette has only taken 4 shots in this second half. As Bailey with number 5 couldn't go. Elliott right there on the glass.
Nice job by Elliott. Pretty good shot by Brendan Bailey. Was halfway down and popped back out, but he's taking good shots here tonight, not forcing the action.
6 points, 2 for 5 from the floor, and a good move by Bryce Workman to convert.
Yeah, lack of defensive rotation on the backside allowed Workman that easy deuce. Coach is not happy with that.
Steve Wojciechowski calls a timeout. Got some foul trouble to talk about with Marquette, but they still have a commanding lead. 18-point lead for Marquette. Everybody loving free t-shirts. Jacksonville is here in town, and Jacksonville, for a lot of folks that don't realize, has a very rich history in college basketball because of that man right there, Artis Gilmore on the left. 50th anniversary of the NCAA runner-up basketball team from the 69-70 season, and that is a historic team that came out of Jacksonville University. The numbers that they put together, Stephen Bardo, are unmatched.
I agree. And the numbers that Artis Gilmore, I don't know that we'll see this in college basketball again. 23 points, 22 rebounds per game. I mean, that's a career game for some players. He averaged that throughout that season.
They went 27-2 that year, and they were kind of the first Cinderella in the NCAA tournament, and ended up losing to UCLA in the national championship game. And of course, everybody knows about UCLA. Not a lot of people know who they beat in 69-70. It was Jacksonville. There were 3 mid-majors in the Final Four. The only time that that's ever happened was 69-70.
You talked about the numbers. They averaged 100 points a game.
Did it 20-plus times, right?
Right. 20-plus times, Jeff, and you pointed out there was no 3-point shot then. Can you imagine that?
That is so many field goals. Bailey fading away off the heel. 100 points without the aid of a 3-point shot.
And in a 40-minute game.
Right.
I mean, that's getting it done.
Efficient offense, hitting your free throws, playing good defense. Or no defense because you're just in a track meet all the time.
Yeah.
Sakar Annam with a Euro step and got blocked by David Bell.
Okay, David Bell taking out a little frustration on that block. Nice timing there to block Sakar Annam. See Sakar, like you said, the nice Euro step, but Bell's like, no, not here, young fella. Not right now.